Recently, I found my 4-H record book from my many years in 4-H, and this is just a great diary of my childhood and of my 4-H experiences. It's kind of fun just to look through that. It starts at this is the end of my 4-H career, and then it goes back, and I have a section for all the projects. Let's see, I was in bicycle and breeding beef and clothing. Oh my, clothing construction, environmental concerns, foods, horticulture. I mean, I can't even remember doing a lot of these projects, but I did several projects. Market beef, and it goes on, and lots of pictures in here, photographs of me as I was growing up in 4-H, projects with my brothers, with my family, with my other 4-H friends, going back and reading some of the very first 4-H stories that I did write. That's kind of a good laugh to go through and read those. But oh yeah, so this is my second year in 4-H, and it is kind of nice to go back and see my story in my own handwriting and what it was like then. Learning how to keep records is an important life skill. It's an ongoing process that should be done throughout the 4-H year, not just at the end of the 4-H year. 3 documents that you can use to keep 4-H records include your personal page, the permanent record, and some kind of generic or any kind of just basic 4-H project record. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of those. The personal page, this document you create from scratch each year, or you need a new personal page each year that you're in 4-H. It's very quick, it's very simple to complete. Just some basic information about the 4-H member, such as your name, how many years you've been in 4-H, where you live. Then you list all of the projects that you are enrolled in, and it has a section to just put a head and shoulders picture of yourself. Now, the 4-H permanent record is a continual record sheet. And by that, I mean each year you don't start a new one, you just add to it. And the permanent record has 4 sections. The first one is groups and organizations that you're involved in. The second is communications, presentations that you've given in 4-H, various exhibits and contests that you've completed. The third section is all those activities that you have done in 4-H. And the last section is for your most important recognitions for the year that you're completing the permanent. Now, the generic 4-H project record sheets like this can be used for any project that a 4-H member is enrolled in. And this example that I have with me, and there's various types of these 4-H records, but most of them are asking for some goals that the 4-H member sets for that project, maybe some learning activities that they completed in the project. If you've given any talks or presentations related to your project, keeping track of the various income and expense that has been associated with your project, and then just including some knowledge and skills that you've learned, maybe some activities related to leadership or citizenship that you have done within the project. Now, I know many families choose a type of 4-H record that works for them. This may be a calendar that's on the front of your refrigerator. You may write things on the calendar each time you do something related to 4-H. You may have a notepad in your kitchen if you're in the foods project, and every time you cook or prepare something, you keep track of it on that. So regardless of what document you're using, it's just, you can use various documents. We just want to teach the basic concept of record keeping to the 4-H members. Now, another thing as we talk about 4-H records that's important for you to understand, and you want to check with your local extension office about, is oftentimes 4-H record keeping and project recognition are not the same. For an example, to achieve like a member achievement pin, like let's say bronze, clover, emerald, silver, all of those that we have, oftentimes it asks you, one of the requirements is, did you complete your personal page and your permanent record? Now, in many of our extension offices, to achieve individual project recognition, you have to complete what's called a Kansas Award Portfolio, or for short, we just call those CAPs. But I know for a fact, in order to complete that CAP, you have to have some sort of a record-keeping process that you use throughout the year so you can get all of that information onto your CAP. So the personal page and the permanent record and the generic 4-H record form can be found online on the web address that is located on the screen. I just encourage you to develop a record-keeping system that works for you, so that you can preserve some of the great work that you're doing in 4-H. And you may not think that's valuable to you now, but like me, recently stumbling upon this, I'm very blessed that my parents made me work. So I have this piece of history of my childhood here with me now as an adult. So if you have any questions about keeping 4-H records, please contact any of us here at any of our Post-Rock district offices. As always, we're ready to help you and assist you in any way that we can.